Greetings, everybody, from South Florida. It is the Gainbridge Super League tonight here on Peacock, presented by Tropical Financial Credit Union. It's Fort Lauderdale United welcoming in Dallas Trinity. Alongside Jade Barquette and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. Happy to have you with us. It's a big game in the Gainbridge Super League as we look at the Delta standings. Big chance for Dallas to make up some ground in that top three after Sporting Jacks suffered a defeat to DC Power earlier this evening. Fort Lauderdale began the day in 7th. They're currently in 8th. This
league is so competitive. Lexington took care of business against Carolina Ascent earlier today, so they take over the top spot in the league.
We'll see if anything else shuffles around by the end of the night. We start by looking at Fort Lauderdale and their recent form, and there's really some interesting statistics that have defined their season, starting with the fact that when they score first, they've been great, not so much when they concede first.
Head coach Ali Rogers just talked to us about imposing their will earlier on in games. He said sometimes they get rattled quickly, but they have to just settle down and play their style of soccer.
We'll see if they can do that tonight, particularly at home, where they have struggled this season. Just one home win and 14 goals conceded at home.
Yeah, we just talked about their offensive power. Now we transition to the defense. Goals conceded at home, 14 with only one win. They have to take care of business at home, and if they want to get back into the W column, they need to play a complete 90-minute game.
No clean sheets either. We'll see if that changes tonight. Our Baptist Health player to watch for Fort Lauderdale, though, is Jasmine Hamid, one of the most all-around players, complete players in the league.
She is absolutely, and she's got a player that they need to be active in this match tonight. She has energy. She's a leader, very confident 1v1 attacker. In that game against Lexington last week, she took on the back line, step overs, and slotted that ball into the net. They're going to need that same firepower tonight.
On the other side of the coin for the Dallas Trinity, they went through a really tough stretch in the fall with 6 matches without a win, but they turned it around. Now it's 5 unbeaten. They look to make it 6 unbeaten tonight.
This team is really catching their stride. They've added some pieces in this winter break, and they've had a new coach in Nathan Thackeray, who really just wanting to change some of the style of play that they were playing in before. They've added a few key pieces that have helped them in the attack and on the defensive side, and they really look like a complete team now.
A few of those new pieces got to debut last time out, most notably Heather Stainbrook, who got an assist in a 1-1 draw over Brooklyn.
She was described by her coach as a shifty player, very hungry to be on the ball, and if you got to watch that Brooklyn match, you saw it. She was buzzing around the field, a magnet for the ball and her teammates, and she's going to need to keep that same energy tonight against Fort Lauderdale, try to facilitate play higher up the pitch.
We'll see if Dallas can turn 1 point into 3 points here in South Florida tonight against a desperate Fort Lauderdale team trying to get closer to the top 4 in the Gainbridge Super League. We'll have the kickoff on Peacock from South Florida when we come back.
With over 2 decades of experience in the payment industry, Beyond Bankcard is more than just a payment processor. We are a partner dedicated to your success. Our mission is simple: to provide innovative, flexible payment processing solutions tailored to meet your needs.
We partner up with various companies, restaurants, retail, smoke shops, convenience store, you name it, we have the POS system for it.
Whether it's tools we provide or the relationships we nurture, Beyond Bankcard is here to power your payment solutions.
Staying cool in Florida has never been easier. With all your cooling, you'll get no money down, no payments until 2027, and a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Don't wait until your AC gives out. Call us today, 855-818-3828, or scan the QR code below.
Caitlin Clark, amazing at assists. Gainbridge, the ultimate assist for your savings. But ever since they teamed up, she's taken assisting to a whole new level. Caitlin Clark, graded assists. Gainbridge, graded assists for your savings.
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything.
This spring, stay 3 nights and get a $50 Best Western gift card.
Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Jade Barquette here with you. The player walkouts tonight in South Florida are presented by Amerant Bank as Fort Lauderdale gets set to take on the Dallas Trinity. We dive into the starting 11, starting with Fort Lauderdale. They're brought to you by LaCroix. We begin with Allie Rogers and the hosts.
Yeah, these players are just fighting for a W right now. Kiara Locklear back in the starting lineup. The team's leading scorer, Abby Hugh, making her debut for her new club. She has an undeniable work ethic, says her head coach. And Matt Crone getting her second start in goal for the United as well.
On the other side of things, Nathan Thackeray hoping that Dallas can build off that 1-1 draw against Brooklyn last time out.
Allie Thornton back in the starting lineup for Dallas tonight. Lauren Flynn will shift towards the central part of the pitch as a center back. That's her natural position that she played there in college. Cameron Lancaster in the starting lineup as well, who scored their goal versus Brooklyn last week.
Well, tonight's coin toss is brought to you by Beyond Bankard. As Dallas and Fort Lauderdale get set to do battle here, Dallas coach Nathan Thackeray told us that there was a lot that he wanted to see be built on after the 1-1 draw against Brooklyn. It looked like they were going to get 3 points for a vast majority of that game. It did not work out. Credit to Brooklyn for bouncing back and getting a much-needed point. But now Dallas come to Fort Lauderdale against a team that they have struggled against in the Gainbridge Super League. Just 1 win in the prior 5 meetings against the South Floridians. And Fort Lauderdale, of course, are desperate as well. 6 matches without a win. Their last win was November 8th of last year. We are underway here on Peacock. Sean St. Jacques, Jade Barquette, our entire crew. Cannot wait to see how this one unfolds. Fort Lauderdale have it off the kickoff. They're going from right to left on their home patch. Now, last time these two teams met, September 13th of this season, of course, in the calendar year 2025, it was a resounding Fort Lauderdale win by 4-1. That's kind of been the status quo when these two teams meet. Fort Lauderdale tend to get the result, but Dallas are in better form. Fort Lauderdale are desperate to finally get back in the win column. And we wait to see if those numbers matter at all, or you can chuck them to the side.
Fort Lauderdale would love to keep that streak and stat alive. But this Dallas team has a lot of threats. They look like they're in better form coming out of the break. Their last 2 games of 2025 were a win versus Carolina Ascent and then drew Lexington, who's at the top of the leaderboard. And then Brooklyn was their tie coming into 2026. And this team is just continuing to take steps forward each and every week.
Edson Carvajal is our head official, puts it back on the halfway line for a Fort Lauderdale reset on the near side. Lovely chop by Julia Grasso. She continues her run towards the middle of the park. The layoff sees Dallas close it down, heading towards the edge of their own penalty area here. The Trinity reset, and the referee actually brings it back for a free kick. Keys to the game are presented by Amerant Bank, your hometown bank, supporting every winning strategy. We start with United.
I mentioned it earlier in the open that Fort Lauderdale needs to impose their will earlier on in this match. What I mean by that is just regain possession of the ball quickly when they lose it, be patient in their buildup, and then work higher up the pitch. And then for Dallas, small win success. When we talked to head coach Nathan Thackeray, he said that the game will be a success if he hears game model language being impactful in this game. He said against Brooklyn, he did hear some of that game model language, and what I mean by that is just his team wanting to implement their new style of play. That's possession-based soccer. That's making sure that they bring other people around the ball to get behind it and go further up the field.
Fort Lauderdale are up the field here on the edge of the penalty area with Jasmine Hamid maneuvering around the edge of the 18-yard box. She lays it off on the far side. There's Van Treek on the pirouette. It's then clipped into the middle and just over the head of, well, everybody in the end, and it rolls out of play.
And a great start for Fort Lauderdale here. Van Treek dancing around the ball, dumps it back off to Hamid, who has plenty of time to pick her head up. but just out of the reach. There wasn't really a lot of threats for Lauderdale to really try to build up around the 18-yard box, and just elects to go long there.
Balata plays it square to the edge of the area. Out of this near side for Samar Guidry, who is under some pressure here. And it is won back by Fort Lauderdale with Grosso. Simpson down this near side. And then Hamid's pass was picked off, but she recovers. It was a 3-1 defeat at home to Lexington for Fort Lauderdale, their first game after the winter break. And just kind of goes back to the pretty stunning numbers that Fort Lauderdale have shown here at home this season. It's been mostly negative. No clean sheets, 14 goals conceded, and just 7 points accumulated on their home patch. It's a massive reason why they sit currently in 8th coming in to this match tonight. And a foul is going to go against them that allows Dallas to alleviate the pressure. Tonight's injury report is presented by Baptist Health. Of course, there's been a number of movers and shakers personnel-wise, but it is just Kate Colvin who is listed as out for Fort Lauderdale tonight. And overall, Dallas are in pretty good shape as far as injuries are concerned overall.
And you love that, especially coming back from the break, having all of your numbers available and people to put in new positions. Nathan Thackeray just wants to try different systems of play and different people in this starting lineup for Dallas who are pretty flexible. They have the ability to score goals with Lexi Missimo, and then you have, of course, Allie Thornton up top who can score as well for them. And they have the ability to threaten from the central part of the pitch as well with Abogagu, Balata, and then Lancaster, who added a goal in their last match as well.
Dallas's first foray forward here to the edge of the 6. Touched back out to this near sideline. This is where Nathan Thackeray wants to see some improvement. They do get back onto it here, Dallas, up against the sideline. They will lose it, however. It'll be a Fort Lauderdale throw.
You're exactly right, Sean. Nathan Thackeray wants his team to have the willingness to press. It's a part of their game knowledge game model. When they lose the ball, Cameron Lancaster did not let up at all on Grosso. She just kept her body on her, not allowing her to try to get out at all.
Another whistle on this near side, a foul and a Fort Lauderdale United free kick. We highlighted it earlier, a 1-1 draw for Dallas in their first game after the break. And a shot comes in here. Oh, that just bounced wide. McKinley Crone had to get down quickly to her left to cover that, and it ends up going off target.
A poor giveaway in the central part of the pitch by Kat Gonzalez. And then you don't want Abogagu to get the ball in the open field. She just takes her head up, knows that she has the opportunity to score because Vaca was coming over to shut that space down. Clear opportunity there for Dallas.
You saw there 4 goal-scoring contributions, a goal and 3 assists for Abogagu so far in this campaign for Dallas. Played back for Tyler McCamey. Dallas seemingly absorbing the early pressure from Fort Lauderdale in these opening 7.5 minutes, although as soon as I say that, they do give it away cheaply on the far side. New coach, Nathan Thackeray. It's his second game in charge. Plenty of coaching experience at the NWSL level. Played in England at multiple tiers as a player, as a goalkeeper as well. And his team could be on the break here. They could have some numbers if they hurry. Cam Lancaster on this near side, scored against Brooklyn last time out. Tries to facilitate here, and the volley is a whisker wide of the target.
And another great opportunity here. Lancaster just doing the work on the wing, and Allie Thornton just makes it look so effortless in the box. So simply does she just put her leg out to try to redirect that one, just couldn't get her hips all the way around to put it on frame.
Here comes that Dallas press. It leads to a takeaway. But then they give it away, and Fort Lauderdale will get a chance to break up the other end. It's a through ball looking for Jasmine Hamid, and eventually McCamey gets there to clear it. Now Dallas look to bring this forward. Allie Thornton doesn't have a ton of options yet. She's double marked, lays it off, and that swirling strike is blocked. Lancaster follows up, tried to poke it across. Dallas can recycle it here. Bellata plays it square. And they're forced to go back to the halfway line in Wisner. Pressure there, maybe too much pressure from Hamid. And the referee ends the sequence with a whistle and a foul.
Dallas continuing to be in pursuit of that first goal. Allie Thornton just picks up the ball here, draws two defenders, and unselfishly just dumps this ball off to Lancaster, who was threatening a great shot, but blocked by Fort Lauderdale, who did a really good job recovering there.
Well, you see there, 7 points on the road accumulated for Dallas. We talked about the 7 at home. For Fort Lauderdale, Dallas would love to get a third road victory of the season, which would get them closer to the top 2, Sporting Jackson, Lexington. And Dallas are on the front foot again here. How did that not get a touch on the edge of the 6? Brilliant service, leads to nothing, at least initially here. Wendy Bellata wins it back for Dallas and played it towards the edge of the arc. It's Cam Lancaster here on the near side. Clips in a good ball, headed to the edge of the area and hooked away by Nemiche. And then it's a clumsy challenge on the back end. Van Treek gives up the free kick.
Once again, it just continues to be Dallas. This time, Stainbrook makes the underlapping run, but nobody there on that back post for Dallas. And then Van Treek just tries to touch the ball there. Obviously mistimed it a little bit, but Dallas in a prime position right here with this free kick opportunity. And they've been the aggressors so far in this game. Can they capitalize right here?
What will Dallas have up their sleeves from this set piece? It's going to be clipped towards the edge of the 6, and it's a comfortable catch for McKinley Crone. Was nicely played through the lines, and then Fort Lauderdale are swarmed left edge of the center circle, but recover it. It's played back down this far right-hand channel. There are white shirts queuing up in the middle. Off the layoff, it's speared across. It's touched high into the air to the edge of the area. Lancaster tried to clear it. Dallas eventually shovel it onto this near side, and Fort Lauderdale will get the throw. Also waits for teammates to join in, and it's touched right back out and given right back to Dallas. Now look there at Allie Rogers, her first season in charge, was an assistant coach on the Fort Lauderdale team that of course made it to the final in the Gainbridge Super League's inaugural campaign. Of course, that team went through so many twists and turns to get to the final, regular season and in the playoffs.
It's really been a whirlwind of 2 years for this Fort Lauderdale side, and something that she has implemented into this team is prioritizing the mental part of the game, not to get too high or too low. They have a bunch of rookies on their team as well, so just that transition into pro soccer for them has been huge.
The early ball forward was brilliant. The shot is parried wide and almost out of nothing there. Fort Lauderdale have a corner.
That's the ability of this Fort Lauderdale side, is they can strike from nothing. This ball played high up the pitch right into the stride of Kiara Locklear and just tries to go front post there with that left boot. Just not enough on it, but I just wanted to tie up that mental part of the game with Allie Rogers, because I think it's so cool that they brought in a mental performance coach to really help the girls talk about soccer, things outside of the game, completely voluntary. They meet bi-weekly, and the coaches just facilitate it for the team to have available to them.
It's an all-year cooling and plumbing corner here for Fort Lauderdale. It's clipped right to the edge of the 6. Good header away defensively from Dallas. Still work to do on the follow-up, but it's skewered high into the air and into the side netting. It's a goal kick. Just had a brief look there at Abby Hugh. It's a debut for her in the Gainbridge Super League play with the Pittsburgh Riveters in the USL W League, and of course also played collegiately at Marshall.
Nice, go. You own it. Nice, fella.
Fort Lauderdale did well initially to recover possession on this near side, but eventually it goes against them here. So Dallas gets the free kick. This is Samar Guidry looking to find someone who's available and is forced to go back. Play back for Wisner. And Fort Lauderdale ramps up the pressure a bit here, but Dallas plays through that initial wave. Pushing a chase down this far side. Shania Gordon, though, does well defensively here. And hooks it out of play. It'll go back to Dallas. We talked a lot earlier about Jasmine Hamid, but when Shania Gordon is clicking, Fort Lauderdale tend to click as well on both sides of the ball, as that's going to be a flag and a turnover, a free kick. Select is the official match ball supplier of the Gainbridge Super League and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select is the player's choice. Off a takeaway, Dallas had a chance to maraud forward there. Simo is dispossessed. Trinity win it back just about on the left-hand side of the halfway line. There is real estate ahead. It's a little give and go down the line for Hinson, whose ball in is not dealt with here. Cameron Lancaster looks to pick up the pieces. A layoff on the overlap is clipped across. Nobody there for Dallas to really attack it, and Gordon clears. And it'll eventually stay with Dallas on the far side.
Looked like there was a bit of a miscommunication in the box between Ella Simpson and her goalkeeper, Matt Crone, of who was going for that ball. It turns out okay, though. Cameron Lancaster just plays that ball a little bit too wide for Samar, who clipped it over. I didn't really know how she got her hips around that ball. It looked like it was an impossible angle. But Dallas continues to find different ways to get into the 18 for themselves and really threaten this Fort Lauderdale side.
Nice goals. Going over.
And that ball bounces over the top of the outstretched Bellata, and it could open up here for Fort Lauderdale in transition. Lovely ball played out to this near side. Jasmine Hamid cuts in field. That's where she can be very dangerous, and she wins a corner.
This is where Jasmine Hamid can be so dangerous. She finds herself 1v1 out in the flank and just takes on her defender. Smart did a really good job of just tracking her run, not allowing her to truly cut inside. Had to go to ground there to block that shot, which was a powerful one. It ricochets off for a corner, though. Great opportunity for them to capitalize here when Dallas has had a lot of the opportunities.
Another all-year cooling and plumbing corner here for Fort Lauderdale. It's played towards the far side edge of the 6, popped high in the air, and it's going to go out of play harmlessly for a goal kick. Enter the Gainbridge back to play giveaway for a chance to win a prize pack, including signed goalie gloves from Brianna Scurry and much more. Scan the QR code on screen to enter for a chance to win. Not a bad welcome back gift, if I do say so myself.
I've scanned the QR code before. There's some good stuff in there.
I'm not surprised. And they don't tend to let those good items go to waste. McCamey had some time to make a decision there. It goes back to McCamey as Fort Lauderdale creep up a little bit here in their press. Trying to pin Dallas back here. Hamid making life difficult, but Dallas do play through, and they have real estate to work with over the halfway line down the middle. Hinson plays it square to Massimo. She cuts in field, back towards Hinson, out to the far side. First time ball in, looking for Thornton. He's cleared out of play for a throw.
Beautiful build-up play there by Dallas, from all the way from their goalkeeper to the attacking third. And what a fantastic switch of play by Samar to all the way to Hinson, who was striding down the pitch. Fort Lauderdale is really spread out right now, allowing Dallas to just have their way in that middle third.
McCamey is well off her line to help Dallas in possession here. And Fort Lauderdale's pressure forces the clearance over the halfway line. Split back up ahead. The initial header from Balada, and then the foul goes against Heather Stainbrook. Hamid comes back to control it. Stainbrook steps right back in, wins it back for Dallas.
Dallas just so comfortable and confident on the ball right now. The way that they're able to just regain momentum of this game and not allow Fort Lauderdale to turn it into a little bit of a track meet like it was in the first 15 minutes of this match. They're doing a really good job of just being patient in their build-up, using McCamey a ton to just try to shift the point of attack. And they have veteran leadership in the center backs of Amber Wisner, who is a vet in professional soccer, and then Lauren Flynn, who is so comfortable on the ball and has the vision for short passes connecting through the midfield, but as well, she'll take space and find slipped balls through higher parts of the pitch.
Nathan Thackeray did tell us that he really did not want to get into a race with this Fort Lauderdale group. That's when they're at their best, he told us. And you're right, Jade. The first 7-8 minutes, Fort Lauderdale were at the races, and since then, Dallas has simmered things down quite a bit. Wendy Balada, lovely pirouette initially, and is able to send this down the far side for Ubogagu. Back to Balada, who further plays it back towards the halfway line. Now Stainbrook. Guidry. There, Dallas trying to make it 6 unbeaten in the Gainbridge Super League. They could get within 4 points of second place Sporting Jacks, who were upset earlier tonight by DC Power, who won by 1-0. A little bit further north here in Florida. And then, of course, Lexington wins again. And they stay undefeated in this Gainbridge Super League season. 16 played, no defeats.
They are just an incredible team from top to bottom, such a well-rounded group. And Mackenzie Weinert said in her post-game interview that they said no more ties coming into 2026, and they've held true to that in their first 2 matches of this spring season.
That win earlier over Carolina Ascent was Lexington's 7th win of the season to go along with those 9 draws. And in the live table, Lexington are top of the table, 2 points clear of Sporting Jacks. You see their long unbeaten run come to a close. Here come Dallas again. This is Lancaster cutting in field. Lancaster pokes it through on the turn. It's Stainbrook, and she scores! That's a superb turn and finish from Heather Stainbrook. And Dallas strike first in the Sunshine State to take a 1-0 lead.
And what a great goal for Dallas. Lancaster just drives inside. She has the space, dumps it off the outside of her foot to Stainbrook, who just was on the backside of the back line, but pops right in front of them, just separates herself, giving her a little bit of room, and then slots this one home perfectly for her first goal in the Dallas uniform.
On loan from the Washington Spirit of NWSL, and she scores her first Gainbridge Super League goal in style.
And what a way to make an impact, right? You assist the goal in her first match, her debut. She started that game against Brooklyn last week, and then roles reversed this time. Cam Lancaster assists her goal in this game tonight. Dallas just putting all those pieces together really early here in this spring, and you kind of felt like it was coming for them in this match.
Two games, 2 goal-scoring contributions for Heather Stainbrook. We talked about this earlier. You see there that Dallas is unbeaten this season when scoring first. 5 wins and 2 draws. We mentioned this in the open. When Fort Lauderdale concedes first, they haven't won any of the games this season. 5 losses and 3 draws. They're going to have to do it the hard way, Fort Lauderdale, if they're going to end this run without a victory.
Absolutely, and we've seen them have spurts of opportunities. Maybe here's another one for them, but it's been all Dallas here in the first half.
Cross into the middle is over the top and out of play. Doesn't appear there was a deflection on it, and it's going to be a goal kick. By the way, that's the 15th goal that Fort Lauderdale has conceded on home turf this season. That is the most in the Gainbridge Super League.
Head coach Allie Rogers for Fort Lauderdale told us after that Lexington match that they were obviously disappointed with that 3-1 loss, but she said they're at the point of the season where that game is a learning opportunity for them, and they're at the point where it's not detrimental to their game. And what she needed to see out of them is they're imposing their will and their style, which is this possession-based attacking mindset that her team has. We haven't really seen a ton of it here because Dallas has had so much of the possession, but there are chances in this match where they have had the ball but just given it away due to the pressure Dallas is putting on them, or just their lack of having numbers up top for them to go to goal because they've been defending the whole time.
Another wayward cross in the middle of that Fort Lauderdale buildup leads to a takeaway and a Dallas throw on this near side. Thornton trying to poke that through. Fort Lauderdale briefly had it, but it's won back by Guidry, who has McCamey behind her. When McCamey's in some trouble, and just about got that out of harm's way under heavy, heavy pressure.
You do not want to keep the ball lingering at your foot. When Kiara Locklear is running at you, she can turn on the jets, and she did just then. Almost got a piece of the ball, but got a piece of McCamey's foot instead. Maybe a little bit of a warning to the goalkeeper saying, watch out, I'm here. You don't want to keep that ball at your feet. Or maybe you do if you're Locklear.
Well, and from the ensuing play, Fort Lauderdale have won a free kick here just outside the 18-yard box.
So Fort Lauderdale has a team have 10 goals off of set pieces this season. They're second in the league with that, and specifically off of free kicks, they have 4 goals, which leads the league. 50% of their total goals, which is 20, come off of set pieces, and this is a perfect opportunity for them to score and get one back in this match. Right outside of the 18-yard box in prime position, you have Jasmine Mead right here off of the 18 who has scoring ability, or you can clip this ball over towards the back post and give your team a shot to put one in.
Well, the referee trying to keep the peace here inside the 18-yard box. It always gets physical in there on set-piece opportunities. It's going to be bent towards goal and punched over the top by McCamey and out for a corner.
And Naya Meche just whipped this ball in. It looked like she might have been going for goal there herself, and I don't blame her. She's in prime positioning to do that. She'd have runners threatening on that back post, but McCamey had to come up huge, extending her whole body, using her top hand to just parry that one away.
All year cooling and plumbing corner here. It's taken short. And Dallas snuffed it out rather quickly. Hamid had nowhere to go. And Fort Lauderdale have to settle for a throw here. It did not work out. Hamid surveys the scene. Throw into the middle as a cushioned header right back to Hamid. And Hamid lost it as she tried to cut towards the byline. Fort Lauderdale forced to refresh the possession over the halfway line. Gonzalez dispossessed. Lovely little back-heeled move, and Dallas are on the front foot quickly. It's an early ball in behind, and it's a clearance by Ella Simpson out for a corner.
And again, a giveaway leads to a set-piece opportunity, this time for Dallas. Kat Gonzalez once again giving it away, this time not in the central part, but on the flank side of the pitch, and Dallas is going to try to capitalize on that. They go straight towards goal. Ella Simpson couldn't get her body around it to clear it higher up the pitch, and instead gives up a corner kick here.
Another all-year cooling and plumbing corner for Dallas. Balada hits it to the edge of the area. It's a header by Lancaster, which is touched on target, but Crone was able to get it rather comfortably. Guidry's first to get a touch onto it. After that, it's out for a throw in. Fort Lauderdale want to take it very quickly here if they can, but the referee tells them they're taking it from the wrong spot. Grosso Clips it over the top for Jasmine Hamid. It's just out of her reach and cleared away. Now Dallas's turn to try to bring it up the other end with Lancaster, who waits for help. Hinson for Stainbrook. Balada. Stainbrook continues the run. Oh, and then the offside flag goes up on this far side, and that ends the attacking sequence and really leads to a missed opportunity for Dallas.
And they have really been working up the field in their patient possession, and it's really cool to watch Dallas just build slowly through the thirds, but then be able to turn it on. You saw Massimo just come back and help the play when you thought they had given up the ball. She came back from her central position, dropped into the midfield. She just continued to facilitate possession for her team so that the play didn't stop. The momentum was still with them and the ball was still in their hands. And this Dallas side has really been implementing that style of play that Nathan Thackeray wants them to, and he said that we might be seeing a little bit more of it because they actually got to train on a field this week because it had been snowing so much and ice on the roads in Dallas. But he said that they didn't want to use that as an excuse. He wants to seem to be a team built off of opportunities, but we're seeing this Dallas kind of put those this Dallas side put those pieces together, and they're being a consistent threat in this match.
Simpson has it with about 10 minutes plus stoppage time left in the opening half. On the turn, Gonzalez up ahead. Clips it to the edge of the area. And on the layoff, the shot is sent over the top by Abby Hugh, who had a pretty good look. Probably one of the better moves we've seen from Fort Lauderdale in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's really been few and far between when it comes to opportunities on goal for Fort Lauderdale here in this first half, but that was a shot taken from outside of the 18. Dallas not really giving them any opportunities to thread any balls through. Just had to take a little bit of a longer shot, and it was almost on frame, just a bit too high.
Well, the assistant flags goes up on that far side. It's a foul and a free kick for Dallas. Now, tonight's game is presented by Hard Rock Bet, bringing the thrill of the game straight to your fingertips. Chance for Dallas to move it again down this far side. Little give and go loop over the top. Closed down. And touched out of play by Vaca. When the hold-up play there nearly led to a turnover, but it's popped into the air. And out of play by Locklear to give it right back to the Trinity. Balada. Plays it out to the far side. Hinson down the line. Bogagoo under pressure. And Balada lost it high up the field, but Fort Lauderdale could not fully take advantage of that. They do hold on to the ball. Simpson down the line for Hamid. Hamid fights off a defender there, and Guidry forced to go back again. It's looped over the top down this near side. Grosso runs out of real estate here and loses possession.
Just got double teamed there by Dallas Trinity, who have been so locked down on the defensive side of the ball, especially in their defensive half when they get closer to that 18-yard box. They have really not allowed anybody to get inside of the box in this first half.
Grosso again. Meche plays it square for Hamid, and Hamid is dragged down. Another Fort Lauderdale set-piece opportunity.
Jasmine Hamid just facing away from the goal. Lalata just coming up on her back a little bit too strong there. Going to get booked for the foul. Thought there was a yellow card coming out, but didn't think we saw one there. No yellow card is confirmed, but Fort Lauderdale with another set-piece opportunity. Can they add to their set-piece goals, which is at 10 right now?
It's played square. It's a long-distance shot that's knocked down. Oh, the goalkeeper spills it, and the follow-up is in. McCamey could not hold on to it for Dallas. Fort Lauderdale bravery in the gold mouth to follow up and tuck it home to find the equalizer. And just like that, it's 1-1 as Kelly Van Treek finally gets back up to her feet after some brave follow-up play.
You just have to love that from Kelly Van Treek, but they go short. Kat Gonzalez with a rocket of a shot. McCamey just can't collect it all the way, and Kelly Van Treek is going to do what she always does, finish through the play. Gets absolutely rocked by McCamey as she was coming out to try to regain that ball. Looked like she got the wind knocked out of her, was on the ground for a while, but is up, and she is just a true warrior out there on the pitch.
Oh, well, we've just been told that the goal's been chalked out. It doesn't count. They say it's offside. The flag must have gone up late. And despite the heroics on the doorstep from Van Treek, the goal has been chalked out. And Dallas, to say they catch a break is a massive understatement.
I totally agree, because that was an absolute all-out effort from Kelly Van Treek, and the play was executed perfectly. We'll take another look here. You see Kelly Van Treek trying to go at that back line, and it does look like she was in an offsides position when that ball was played, which is so unfortunate for Fort Lauderdale, who executed that perfectly. The short pass to Kat Gonzalez, the rocket of a shot, the deflection from McCamey, follow-up with Kelly Van Treek.
Off camera, some of the Fort Lauderdale fans are still stunned by that decision, but remember, it's when the ball is kicked towards goal. Are you in an offside position in that moment, in that snapshot? And clearly the assistant referee said that Kelly Van Treek was in an offside position, and the goal does not count. Talk about fine margins, and talk about a huge break for Dallas.
Come on, get one. Push up. Take it, Jules.
That's space.
Push up, Fort Lauderdale. That way. Good ball.
Well, Fort Lauderdale are going to have to do it all over again. Grosso up ahead. Locklear eventually tumbles over. I believe she's offside again. It's going to be a free kick for Dallas.
Kiara Locklear was just trying to find some space in between the back line there and ran right into Heather Stainbrook, who has been a brick wall defensively for Dallas. Both of them walking away a little bit gingerly there.
Again, Dallas gets the decision here as Thornton tries to maraud down this near side. She does get away from the initial challenge, cuts it back, and eventually is stood up. Stainbrook then stepped in ahead of Hamid, but Fort Lauderdale emerge with the possession, but only for half a second. Dallas wins it back. Lancaster feeds it through. Ubogagoo! Just wide of the target.
And that weak side is prime real estate for this Dallas side. Lancaster again just switches the point of attack to a streaking Ubogagoo and collects that ball perfectly just wide of the goal frame. Dallas will be really content with just keeping the ball for the rest of stoppage time here, because they know Fort Lauderdale is feeling a little bit frustrated, knowing that they got that goal scored and then called back, wanting to fight to get one back before halftime is over. They just want to keep possession and keep it away from the prying Fort Lauderdale hands.
Into 2 added minutes at the end of the opening half. A half that has been filled with talking points, no questions about that.
That's it. That's it. Go, that's space. Go. Come on, push up.
That ball flies wayward and out of play. About a minute still to go here with Dallas on the ball and in front. Is there enough time for maybe one late chance here at the end of this first half? Lancaster is tripped up and fouled. Allie Rogers in that Fort Lauderdale technical area wasn't pleased with the call. McCamey picks her head up, floats it down the far side. It's a miscued touch that briefly allows Hinson to go back. And then again, another whistle brings the play to a halt. And then the game is brought to a halt. Halftime here in South Florida. Well, lots to talk about from those first 45 minutes. Fort Lauderdale were excellent at the start. Dallas absorbed the pressure. They get the goal, had other chances, and Fort Lauderdale certainly threatened, as they always do, from set pieces.
It was definitely a track meet from the start of this match. Both teams just trying to go at one another quickly. Fort Lauderdale trying to impose their will, wanting to hold on to possession and then dictate Dallas when they are out of possession, but didn't really get to do that because Dallas was so comfortable on the ball. They had possession for most of that first half and then used that to their advantage to create a ton of scoring opportunities and added one with Heather Stainbrook's first goal for Dallas Trinity and first in the Gainbridge Super League.
Yeah, what an impact she's had since coming in on loan. Certainly Fort Lauderdale will have a say over things in the second half, but it's Dallas leading here by 1-0. And on the pitch side, we are kind enough to be joined by the goal scorer for Dallas Trinity, Heather Stainbrook, who of course got an assist as well last time out. Heather, thanks so much for taking some time. How's it been transitioning with these new teammates and having success out there on the field?
Yeah, it's been awesome. I've loved being in a new environment with new girls, and it's been really fun to have a new coach and learn different tactics and be able to try and implement them in the game.
You've stepped into this new team, this new environment. You scored your first Gainbridge Super League goal in the Dallas Trinity uniform. What did you see, and how did you execute that?
Yeah, just off a transition, I knew it was a good moment. Right after we won the ball, I saw Cam wide and just wanted to run in behind, and she played a perfect ball to my feet, and I was able to turn and just put it on frame, so it was awesome.
You guys controlled most of that first 45. How do you keep that going here to close out the next 45?
Yeah, I think just being patient on the ball, moving them, tiring them out, switching from side to side, and when we have the opportunity to go, just execute really well.
Hey, Heather, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it and wish you the best of luck in the second half.
Thank you so much.
That is Heather Stainbrook from Dallas Trinity, who have a 1-0 lead here in the Sunshine State, scoring her first goal in the Gainbridge Super League. Dallas in a good spot for now. Fort Lauderdale will have their say in the second half. We'll look around the rest of the Gainbridge Super League coming up next at the half.
Tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prince Tires will be there for the long haul.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Hi, I'm Sloan Smith with All Your Cooling. Staying cool in Florida has never been easier. With All Your Cooling, you'll get no money down, no payments until 2027, and a 10-year parts and labor warranty. And now you can claim federal tax credits up to $3,200. For over 50 years, families across Florida have trusted us to keep their homes comfortable. From same-day installs to expert repairs, we deliver the service you need when you need it. Don't wait until your AC gives out. Call us today, 855-818-3828, or scan the QR code below.
What does it mean to feel welcome? To not only be cared for, but to be cared about, to trust. At Baptist Health, this is the warmer side of care. So welcome to being treated with a human touch, where your best interest is our best interest. Here, we advance innovation and treatments through research while educating the next generation of experts close to home. Welcome to the warmer side of care. Welcome to Baptist Health.
Staying cool in Florida has never been easier. With all your cooling, you'll get no money down, no payments until 2027, and a 10-year parts and labor warranty. Don't wait until your AC gives out. Call us today, 855-818-3828, or scan the QR code below.
Sean St. Jacques, Jade Barquette, our entire crew, happy to have you with us here at the half. Gainbridge Super League action here on Peacock. It is Dallas on top of Fort Lauderdale by 1-0. Let's look at news and notes from around the Gainbridge Super League. I mean, these days, when there are headlines being made, it's hard to not mention Amina Ekic and what Lexington have been doing this season.
Yeah, all around it is the Lexington show here in the Gainbridge Super League, leading the table right now. And then we've seen Matt Crone here in this Fort Lauderdale game. I've actually known her for years, grew up in the same club, in the same hometown, so it's fantastic to see her here in the Gainbridge Super League.
Yeah, no questions about that. As we look at the out-of-town scores brought to you by Delta Airlines, Lexington stay unbeaten. They beat Carolina. How about DC getting a much-needed win over Sporting Jacks?
Late match heroics for DC Power, throwing off Sporting Club Jacksonville, who are playing at home in this game. It was a well-fought battle between those two. And then, like you mentioned, Lexington just continued to show their firepower. Came back in this match against Carolina, though.
If Dallas can win, they get a little bit closer to Jacksonville in the standings. LaCroix upcoming schedule. All the games are on Peacock. Sporting Jacks will look to bounce back. They take on Spokane in 4 days' time. Then Spokane very quickly have a turnaround. They then go to play Carolina. Fort Lauderdale have Brooklyn next.
Lots of love to go down on Valentine's Day. Spreading the love across Peacock that day, some may say. So make sure to tune in for a lot of Gainbridge Super League action.
Yeah, Lexington will put their unbeaten mark up to the test against Dallas. So it's going to be very exciting to see what happens there. The MacArthur High School Mustangs Band will play us off into the break under the direction of Charles Moore Jr. We'll have more coming up after the break. Welcome back, everybody. Sean St. Jacques, Jade Barquette, our entire crew. It's halftime here in Florida. Fort Lauderdale trailing Dallas Trinity here on Peacock by a 1-0. We jump in to the first half highlights brought to you by Blue Water Books and Charts. And we start with Dallas on the attack.
It was mostly Dallas this entire first half. Allie Thornton just slips this ball into Cam Lancaster, who was making that underlapping run, and a great shot attempt by her, but blocked by the recovering run of Ella Simpson for Fort Lauderdale. And it really just went back and forth in that first 15 minutes. Kiara Locklear here had an opportunity 1v1 against the back line of Dallas, but McCamey had to come up big, stopping that shot at her front post.
Certainly was a bit of a seesaw first half at times when it comes to momentum. We jump ahead to the 25th minute, and again, Dallas pushing the issue.
And this is where Stainbrook makes her mark on this game. She originally passed that ball off to Lancaster, gets into the box, separates herself from the back line so nobody picked up her run, doesn't even take a look up, just takes a prep touch enough to get her hips around the ball and slots that one home.
First Dallas goal since coming in on loan. Jump ahead, 40th minute, Fort Lauderdale on the attack from this set piece. This goal was disallowed.
An unfortunate moment for Fort Lauderdale because it was such an extreme effort by Kelly Van Treek just to continue through the play, but unfortunately called offsides.
That felt like a big moment. Beyond Bankard, halftime stats look like this. Only one shot on target for Dallas. They made the most of that too for Fort Lauderdale. They had the goal chalked out as well, and it really felt like that was an air out of the stadium kind of moment.
If you're looking just at the stats, you think Fort Lauderdale has the advantage in this game, but really Dallas has controlled a lot of the momentum and especially the possession, which has allowed them to get into the attacking half more.
We'll see if Fort Lauderdale can get back into this game in the second 45 minutes, but for now, Dallas are in front, and they'll hope to get this unbeaten run ticked up to a 6th spot. Second half's next.
And let's give it up for his support of women's soccer and your Fort Lauderdale United. From floods to fire, Serve Pro is ready 24/7 to restore your home or business. Proud to be the official restoration partner of Fort Lauderdale United, Serve Pro is here to help fast. Tonight, we're proud to recognize Fort Lauderdale United's official team chiropractor, Stump Chiropractic. Thank you for your contribution to our team and our community.
Moments away from kickoff here on Peacock at the start of the second half between Fort Lauderdale United and the Dallas Trinity in the Gainbridge Super League. Sean St. Jacques, Jay Barquette, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Final game of 3 games today around the grounds in the Gainbridge Super League. Dallas on top by 1-0. Thanks to, of course, Heather Stainbrook, who we talked to at halftime. And you asked her about the second half. We'd mentioned earlier, of course, that Dallas did have a second half lead last time out. Brooklyn managed to steal a point late on. Dallas will be hoping to maybe get 1 or 2 more goals in this second half.
Yeah, she spoke about patience in that interview, and they had a ton of patience in that first half, and we're going to need to see that continue into this second half as well, just to make sure that they control possession, because they know Fort Lauderdale is going to come out and want to get a goal back quickly. How do they just maintain possession and just not allow them to get ahead of this match or get themselves ahead of it?
Teams will switch sides at the start of the second half. Fort Lauderdale at home will be going from left to right at the start of the second half. Nathan Thackeray and company trying to push this over the line, get a victory that would take them within 4 points of second place Jacksonville, within just a couple of results at top of the table Lexington. At the top of the Gainbridge Super League standings. And again, the other part of this too is that Dallas hasn't had the most success against Fort Lauderdale in the Gainbridge Super League short history. Just 1 win in the prior 5 meetings. So Dallas would love nothing more than to change that stat a bit and leave here with all 3 points at the end of the second half of play. Second half is underway here in South Florida. Fort Lauderdale normally don't win when they concede first. They've conceded first again tonight. We will see if they can get on the comeback trail here in the Gainbridge Super League. Dallas dropped points from a winning position last time out. We're hoping to make sure it doesn't happen again. Here are still the early days of the second half of this second Gainbridge Super League season. That is a giveaway. And Dallas have numbers forward here. Oh, and Allie Thornton could not quite corral it. It was touched before it got to her on a defensive side. And then it's cleared out for a throw-in after an early Fort Lauderdale turnover.
Turnovers are very costly, especially in this game, and more specifically even with this Dallas side, who pounces on those opportunities for an attacking transition and just go straight to the goal. That wayward touch by Allie Thornton just doesn't allow them to get the opportunity that they want out of it, but pins Fort Lauderdale back into their own defensive half early on in the second half.
Ball was clipped over the top again. Dallas briefly maraud forward. Now it's held up initially by Locklear. Extra pass out to the far side by Gonzalez. White shirts queuing up in the penalty area. It's played to the edge of the 18-yard box. Slithers through for a shot. Ooh, a handball appeal comes in there. Referee very swiftly waves it away. 1 or 2 shouts from the crowd as well.
Well, Nyameche just tries to find the best opportunity, finds Kiara Locklear, and Lauren Flynn should be very happy that that ball was not called a handball. Very close. She was trying to pull her hand back behind her back, but it just hit that top part of her elbow area. And some days it can go either way with referees. You never really know.
Well, remember, that shirt line does play a bit of a role in that. I wonder if it hits right on the edge there. But from that angle, I'll tell you what, Fort Lauderdale may have a case. Remember, there's no VAR, of course, to go back and check it, so the officials have to do it live. They don't get a slow-mo replay like we just got, and the referee very quickly waved it off and felt confident that it was not a penalty. Fort Lauderdale had to put some of those frustrating moments behind. Remember, they thought they equalized towards the end of the first half. A late offside flag waved that off. Now they felt they should have had a penalty. Wasn't given. Those are things they're going to have to get over if they are to get over and back into this game. Lenny Bellotta would have to replace her divot after getting tripped up there, but Dallas keeps the possession. Hinson. Ubogagu. Gets it back from Hinson on this near side. Fort Lauderdale players recovering here. Hinson is sent towards the byline, and the cross is over everybody's head. And it is going to roll harmlessly out of play for a Fort Lauderdale throw.
I just love the combination play that Dallas is utilizing right now. Hinson working all the way up the pitch from the back line and combining there with Ubogagu on this left side flank to try to get something going. They drew all three defenders there for her to slip that ball through, just too much on the cross.
It's played square onto this near side. Played down the line for Gordon. Shania Gordon goes for goal. The shape looked more like a cross, but the goalkeeper had to intervene and punch that away. McCamey.
Look how much space Stainbrook has in the central part of the pitch. She could turn every which way when she just received that ball from her back line. Fort Lauderdale has to close down the space that Dallas has right now if they want to try to dictate any sort of transition play for themselves.
Here is Hinson. Played square for Ubogagu. Trying to roll it past one defender, was stopped by another. Locklear comes back to get it. Locklear then makes the run down this near side. Van Treek feeds her. Locklear back to Van Treek. Yemeche. And then the cross into the middle is headed towards goal. And McCamey dives and catches.
It's better from Fort Lauderdale. They were patient in the way they were building up in this attacking half, using all sides of the field and not just trying to strike from distance. They were trying to work into the 18-yard box. Locklear had a little bit more time there. She wanted to pick out a different run, but overall better from Fort Lauderdale. Dallas maybe a little hesitant to step. They just need to keep that same consistency on the defensive side as well.
Stainbrook lays it off, and the shot is right down the middle of the spill, and then it's headed and saved for a second time by Crone, who's able to make up for the initial miscue.
Once again, Heather Stainbrook has her hands all in the mix. She dumps this ball out to Lexi, who takes a ripping shot. Matt Crone does a great job to stop it, and then Allie Thornton there to try to clean it up, and the double save by Matt Crone right off of her chest to keep them at 1-0.
All year cooling and plumbing corner still to come after another wild sequence.
What a shot by Massimo, too. Ripping that one outside of the 18 right after her first touch. And a great heads-up play by Allie Thornton, just continue to follow the ball.
From the corner, it's clipped back into the middle. I don't think that's exactly what Dallas had in mind. And very swiftly here, the attack fizzles out for the visitors. Pressure from Lancaster. Fort Lauderdale do nicely there to play through the lines, but that pass in behind is initially cut out. Shania Gordon, though, does well initially to win it back, but then try to back heel into traffic and gives it back to Dallas. Stainbrook to Hinson, who has plenty of space to run into here. Hinson plays it square. Oh, it's a lovely cutback. This is Weni Bellotta. Oh, and Bellotta scores brilliantly to double Dallas's lead. Fort Lauderdale just gave Dallas way too much space to operate. Weni Bellotta makes them pay and gives Dallas a 2-0 lead.
And once again, it starts from the central part of the pitch. Stainbrook gets this ball, passes it off to Hinson, who has field for days, drives up the pitch, draws a defender, and then just passes this to Bellotta, who continues with the ball, does not let that trip slip her up at all, and hammers this shot home. It looked like there was a little bit of a deflection from Vaca there on that shot, who tried to go to ground, but just not enough to stop the shot of Bellotta, who has been buzzing around this field for Dallas.
Second goal in the Gainbridge Super League this season for Weni Bellotta. It's a brilliant finish. It was a wonderful team break from Dallas, and it could be a backbreaker for Fort Lauderdale. Although here they are in the back here, and it needed a touch from McCamey as Dallas nearly gave Fort Lauderdale an escape route. Abby Hugh down this far side. Early cross into the middle is headed high into the air, only as far as Jasmine Hamid. Hamid clips it into the middle, touched away. The follow-up is saved over the top by McCamey. What a recovery. And McCamey parries it out for a corner after she was just able to recover.
McCamey was batting those shots away like they were flies. This one off the fingertips, and then another one on that second opportunity. She was recovering back towards goal and then just pushes that one away. Huge saves by McCamey.
All year cooling and plumbing corner still to come for Fort Lauderdale. It's looped over the top. Dallas get their heads to it first. It's not cleared yet. Now it is sent forward. You can see there on the near side, Fort Lauderdale's preparing a couple of changes. We'll get to that in a moment. Couple of close calls here after Dallas went 2-0 up. That's deflected in behind for Gordon. Hamid. And Hamid is fouled by Stainbrook. Fort Lauderdale free kick.
Like we mentioned in the first half, this is where Fort Lauderdale is dangerous on set pieces. Half their goals this year are scored from a stoppage of play with the ball on the ground. Can they get one back here in this game where they're down 2-0 here? And they're going to need to find opportunities if they want to try to come back in this game at all, because Dallas has really been controlling the match from the start.
Imeche to take the free kick. It's into a good area. Dallas get a defensive header away. It was kept alive initially by Gonzalez and then sent soaring into orbit and harmlessly out of play. And that will be the cue for Ali Rogers to make a couple of changes here. Taylor Smith is going to come on for the aforementioned Stella Imeche. Sophie Harding is going to enter as well. That'll be the end of the night for Kelly Van Treek. And both of those substitutions are brought to you by Omega XL Sport.
Omega XL Sport substitution for Fort Lauderdale. Coming off number 8, Stella Imeche, replaced by number 23, Taylor Smith. Also coming off number 29, Kelly Van Treek.
Pressure right away from Fort Lauderdale. It bounces right back out of play. They'll try it again. Now the Gainbridge Super League season is back in full swing. Visit GainbridgeSuperLeague.com for all the latest information, analysis, and insight into all things Gainbridge Super League. Well, if Fort Lauderdale had a hill to climb at the halftime break, it has turned into a mountain. They nearly were given a route right back into the game after they conceded the second goal, but they could not take full advantage. Dallas have the hammer now, looking to add another one here. They cut their way through. Great save by Crone. Stainbrook tries to follow up and is dispossessed. Bellata wins it back for the Trinity. The slithering ball through there, no flag. Thornton stays on side. It's played back across it, palmed away again by Crone. Hamid then picks up the pieces, tries to roar Fort Lauderdale forward. She is dragged back. That's a foul. It's clearly a yellow card against Sierra Hinson.
Professional foul there by Hinson. Knew exactly what she was doing. Hamid was off to the races in a transition moment, just had to pull her jersey there in an area that is not super dangerous. And then this shot by Massimo, Crone having to come up huge to just bat that one away after a rocket of a shot right at her face at point blank range.
Gordon on the near side. And the challenge from Hamid is going to go against Fort Lauderdale here. And it'll be a Dallas free kick as we approach the hour mark.
Get on, Sophie, get on her. Good pressure, there you go.
Fort Lauderdale pressure leads to a ball over the top. Lancaster again forced to play backwards. I must say, Fort Lauderdale's put the pressure on Dallas quite a bit tonight, and the Trinity almost every single time have been able to calmly play their way through. That's not easy to do. Although Hamid gets a touch onto that on this near side, but Dallas manage it on the back end and keep it via a throw. You can enter the Gainbridge Back to Play giveaway for a chance to win a prize pack, including signed goalie gloves from Brianna Scurry and more. Scan the QR code on the screen and enter for a chance to win today. That is a foul. Hamid was chucked down. It's a free kick.
Hamid just trying to work down this flank. Pulling from both sides in the beginning. Bogagu just getting caught for it, it seemed, and you saw the smiles in between the two of them. Just competitive spirit out there between these two sides right now. Maybe a little bit more frustration from the Fort Lauderdale side. Bogu did have the smile on her face there.
Gonzalez to take from the free kick, and this is where Fort Lauderdale can be dangerous, but it's headed away initially, not definitively cleared yet. Smith lays it off. Then gets it back on the byline and crosses it into the middle, and the goalkeeper again cannot hold on to it, but Dallas help her out and get it away. Now Thornton is held up and she's pulled down. Foul and a free kick and possibly a yellow card for Leveni Vaca.
This is the opportunity for Fort Lauderdale. McCamey again just coming up big for Dallas. And then they tried to clear the ball on the other side, the transition moment. Lava there just called for the foul, not happy with the call as well, and let the center referee know.
Replaced by number 12, Sealy Strong. Also coming off number 13, Sierra Hinson. Replaced by number 2, Hannah Davidson.
Well, Dallas made a couple of changes there. Hannah Davison and Sealy Strong come in. Hinson on the yellow card and Ubogagu exit the field of play. Two more Omega XL Sport substitutions. Meanwhile, it's a lovely weaving run here by Guidry, who lays it off. The extra pass here, and the shot from Lancaster is blocked right on the edge of the 6, and it will deflect out of play for another all-year cooling and plumbing corner.
And it's another all-year cooling corner kick.
Now at 2-0, it's right on the edge here. Next goal is going to mean quite a bit. Dallas from a set piece would love to drop the hammer.
Taking a little bit of time off the clock as well right now is Winnie Bellotta, knowing that they have the lead.
The corner is fizzed in there, and the header was needed. At the near post, Dallas will try it again. Well, the early years of this league, we've seen quite a few Olympicos, believe it or not. That was...
Right? We
have. More than once. That wasn't far away. Second attempt. Fort Lauderdale struggling to get this definitively clear. It's on the edge of the area, finally touched forward. The follow-up is blasted off of the defender Gonzalez, and it stays with Dallas on the far side. They can continue their move forward. But not before Fort Lauderdale makes a change. That's going to be it for Abby Hugh. And Hugh will be replaced by Daniela Todd, an academy product that's just been recently added to the mix for Fort Lauderdale and has made a positive impact. Another Omega XL Sports sub.
Head coach Allie Rogers told us that she was going to be available for this match. You mentioned the academy to pro pipeline that has been used for most of these teams, and Daniela has just been described as a spark coming in for this Fort Lauderdale team. And when she was on the pitch in their last game against Lexington, a couple of her first touches led to their goal for Jasmine Hamid, and her coach said that she just wasn't overthinking anything. She was playing very free and fluid, and that's what they need right now. They need someone to come into this match who's just playing the game. Competitive spirit, wanting to get their team back in it, but not trying to do too much where they cough things up.
Oh, nearly a tough pass back there. McCamey swept it up just in time. Another moment where Fort Lauderdale nearly leaked in.
McCamey has bailed her team out of a few opportunities here tonight.
Smith and company again trying to hammer it down this near side to no avail. It gets back to Dallas possession. Remember, if it holds, it will be a 7th match in a row without a win for Fort Lauderdale. It will be 6 matches unbeaten for Dallas. Of course, we're coming off the heels of a 6-match winless run before the break. Jade, I remember you and I talking to now back to being a GM, Chris Petroselli, about the situation with Dallas and how they were having trouble sleeping in the front office trying to figure out a way to turn this Dallas season around. And here we are, sitting at the beginning of the second half of the season. They're right in the mix, and they have a chance to get closer to that top 2. How quickly things have changed since then.
Right, and they brought in the right choice of a coach in Nathan Thackeray, and he had told us a few weeks ago that he really had no intentions of pursuing a head coaching position, but he had great conversations with Chris Petroselli and the ownership at Dallas Trinity, and felt like this was a family-oriented organization. He felt really wanted there and felt like he could make an impact. He said this team is moldable and they are very coachable, and if you have 2 of those things, you're going to come into 2026 on the right foot. They drew to Brooklyn in that 1-1 game last week, and then they're on fire here against Fort Lauderdale on the road, and things are looking up for this Dallas side, and it's not to mention that the 5-game unbeaten streak, 3 of those were wins and pretty solid wins as well. 2-0, 2-1, and then 1-0 in that last game against Carolina Ascent before they tied Brooklyn and Lexington. So this team is really on the upwards rise, and a lot of it is thanks to Nathan Thackeray, the people that they've brought in, and how they have molded this club to really be a competitive team who wants to try to get up there on the leaderboard here after this match.
We haven't even seen Bethany Boss yet, by the way. Add that into the mix, and you wonder where Dallas could end up at the end of the season. Fort Lauderdale still have a chance here to get back into this game, but they've got to score sooner rather than later. It's played down this near side. Shania Gordon. He stood up, it ricochets back off of her and out of play for a goal kick. Tonight's game is presented by Vera Cadillac Buick GMC, South Florida's trusted destination for luxury and performance. Heavy coming together on that far side. Fort Lauderdale trying to make an issue of it. But again, Dallas play their way through. Lovely little overlapping run on this far side. Early ball looking for Sealy Strawn is cut out. But Dallas Trinity can pick up the pieces again. This is Thornton. Thornton's cross. Looked to have taken a deflection. The referee doesn't think so. In the end, it's a goal kick. Initial touch there from Hamid. It's controlled by Stainbrook. Scored in the first half. And is wrestled to the ground here. Wins Dallas a set piece. And there's some of that Fort Lauderdale frustration sneaking back into the fold.
Limbs were just tied up there in between Kat Gonzalez and Heather Stainbrook. Neither one of them trying to relinquish possession of the ball. There was caught in between both of them. They really were fighting each other there and not even really trying to get the ball, but...
Oh, from the restart. The cross into the middle is palmed over the top by Crone, and makes another good stop at the expense of a corner.
Her name being called once again to parry that one over the goal and not allow Dallas to add a third onto the score sheet. This comes off of a Lancaster shot. And a great job by Matt Crone to just get up like a cat to try to get that one away from her net, and the runs of Sealy Strawn, who were also threatening in the box.
Wenny Bellata will take the all-year cooling and plumbing corner for Dallas. In it comes. Oh, it's a free header, and it's 3-0 to the Trinity. Perfect execution on the set piece, and Lauren Flynn finishes it off. And may have just sealed all 3 points for Dallas.
And it comes off of a set piece. Bellata with the perfect ball, and Lauren Flynn just getting up on Ella Simpson. Separates just enough for herself to get up and head this one home. A decisive header. Crone was not seeing that coming, and Lauren Flynn scores her first goal in the Gainbridge Super League, and again, a first in a Dallas Trinity uniform. It is the day of first for this Dallas side.
Well, we wondered earlier if Dallas would be able to lay down the hammer in this second half. They absolutely have. And they're 3-0 up with 18 minutes to go. Looked like a yellow card came out there. Missimo booked, it appears. Fort Lauderdale have had a couple of chances to get back into this game. It has not happened, and Dallas have made them pay at the other end.
Yellow card issued to Dallas's number
Gonzalez
10,
down the line, it deflects out of play. Ooh, challenge there. With Hamid continuing to force the issue. Well, certainly, I must say that the Dallas players still have to be careful on some of those challenges. It's just a free kick, nothing more than that. One that Gonzalez lines up here.
All of Fort Lauderdale's set-piece chances have been in very dangerous positions right outside of the 18-yard box. They just haven't had the pace on the ball or really the opportunity, quality chance to put it away.
Gonzalez bluffs at it. Clips it in. Punched away by McCamey. Second opportunity to put it into the middle. It's cleared away by Stainbrook. Fort Lauderdale get a third opportunity potentially here. Off the layoff, it's Smith. Just trying to find an avenue. Locked off. Now on the byline. Dallas are able to stand firm and they clear their lines. Now then, the Trinity can move this forward. Misimo has space to run into. Dallas have been incredibly dangerous from moments like this tonight. Back to Misimo, she can wrap it up, and maybe took a little bit too much time to make up her mind. The follow-up attempt from Stainbrook is blocked. And then Stainbrook drags the shirt back and picks up a yellow card.
What a fantastic opportunity on the attacking transition for Dallas, and you're exactly right. She just takes a little bit too long to decide that. She should have just taken that first time or tried to dump it off to Celie Strawn, who was just on that left side. And then a professional foul once again by Dallas, and this time by Heather Stainbrook, to just stop the momentum of Vaca there.
Well, we've talked about a night of firsts for Dallas. It's going to be another one. Bethany Boss is going to come in here at the end of the game along with Maya McCutcheon. Alexa Misimo and Lancaster are going to make way. Omega XL Sport substitutions. The NWSL star and champion makes her Dallas debut.
She was brought here to score goals. I don't know if she'll score one here in the waning minutes of this match, but it would be fantastic and honestly fitting for this game for her to score her first goal in the Gainbridge Super League, adding it to Stainbrook's and Lauren Flynn's as well.
Please turn your attention to the video board. It's time to announce the winner of the 50th
Bethany Boss, an NWSL star for multiple years with Seattle Reign. U.S. Women's National Team player as well. You see the stats there. Rookie of the Year 2019, 130 appearances, 37 goals, and of course has lifted the trophy.
She has really done it all in her career, and we'll talk about it more as this game goes on, but she's just a player that has seen all sides of the game and continues just to rise up to every occasion that she's in, and her work rate on and off the ball, on and off the pitch, just really just differentiates her from a lot of players.
Fort Lauderdale here looking to get one back. And Sophie Harding tried an early shot there. McCamey, to be fair, did not get much on it, but it was wide of the target.
I want to talk a little bit more about her rise here and her entrance into the Gainbridge Super League. She played soccer at Spring Harbor University, which is an NAIA school, 3-time Player of the Year, 2-time national champion. Like you mentioned, she was an undrafted free agent in 2019, OL Reign, now Seattle Reign. And she was the Rookie of the Year in that same year. She was second in the NWSL Golden Boot in 2021, and then the eventual NWSL champion in 2022. At 5 seasons at Seattle, she had 33 goals, 37 for her total in the NWSL, 130 appearances, and 6 assists. She also played for Racing Louisville. And this is just a player who started very humbly and has worked her way up the ladder. And if you just talk about the work ethic of players and that, honestly, you don't see a lot in the young game anymore at the youth level. She is the epitome of that, and someone that young girls and young athletes should look up to, especially in a league like this where you can come into the Gainbridge Super League and be competitive night in and night out, and that's what she's going to do for this Dallas team. And head coach Nathan Thackeray told us that she was brought in here to specifically score goals, and he also mentioned the vast experience that she has to cause problems with other teams and back lines, and she is ready to make an impact in this organization, this club, and they are happy, more than happy, to have her at Dallas Trinity.
While we've been waxing lyrical about Bethany Boss, Tyler McCamey was dealing with an issue. The Dallas goalkeeper It does appear that Nathan Thackeray is going to have to make a change here. McCamey cannot continue. So Samantha Estrada is going to take it from here for Dallas the rest of the way. And Dallas, of course, as we hope, hopes that it's nothing serious with McCamey long term.
Coming off, number 21, Kat Gonzalez.
An Omega XL Sports substitution. Fort Lauderdale made a change as well. Dakota Harrell is going to come in. And that will be the end of the night for Kat Gonzalez. So 11 minutes plus stoppage time left. Thornton leading Dallas forward here. Bosch joins into the attack. And the cross deflects out. It's going to be an all-year cooling and plumbing corner on that far side.
Defended very well by Ella Simpson, not allowing Allie Thornton to cut inside, tried to get a cross off there. Does go out for a corner, but Dallas will elect to take some time off the clock here. Knowing they're up by 3 goals, they don't need that third to close it out. They already have it, and it came off of a corner kick. Goal by Lauren Flynn, so interested to see what they'll do here.
Remember, Bellotta picked out Flynn earlier in this second half. Another one in there. Oh, and it was redirected just wide of the target. Looked like Amber Wisner was just a whisker wide of the target here.
I love the aggressiveness from Dallas, and they just find Wisner in the middle part of the box, and she was defended by her own player, so it really allowed her to stay free in that moment and gets that ball off the half volley just wide of the goal. I like the whisker comment you made. I think that's appropriate.
We talked about how good Fort Lauderdale have been from set pieces, but it's been Dallas doing the damage from dead ball situations tonight. Guidry heads it forward. Flynn just won't let anybody past her. Sealy Strawn comes back to get it, chops it down the line. It's won back by Gordon. And then Hamid is fouled on this near side. Nathan Thackeray wanted to slow down Gordon and Hamid. Still a few minutes to go, but I would say just about mission completed as far as that's concerned.
Absolutely. He can check both of those things as complete because they have really been quiet here, especially in the second half.
Ooh, Hamid looped that over the top. Dallas get the initial header onto it. Sealy Strawn follows it up, but does get closed down on this near side. Fort Lauderdale have 8 minutes of normal time remaining. Hamid gives it away in the end. Guidry down the line to no one in particular. Stay up to date with the Gainbridge Super League. Sign up for the Super Newsletter to get news about your favorite team and stories from around the league delivered directly to your inbox weekly. Sign up at GainbridgeSuperLeague.com/newsletter to get it today. Remember, we talked about earlier, if Dallas wins tonight, it's just their second win ever at Fort Lauderdale's expense. And they slide it again through. This is Thornton, blocked. And Thornton was also in an offside position. Just to complete that thought, the only other win that Dallas picked up against Fort Lauderdale was their first ever meeting, November 2nd, 2024. Since then, Dallas has yet to beat Fort Lauderdale again. Of course, that'll change if they can hold on here. Fort Lauderdale again have a chance to get through and in behind. A late challenge sends it out of play. Locklear was caught up too, but wins a corner.
And a great time tackle here by Davison. You never know how those can go, but she made a veteran call and a veteran move, knowing that she could get her foot in there to kick that ball out of bounds and not allow Locklear to have a one-on-one opportunity with her goalkeeper in Estrada.
All year cooling and plumbing corner. It's popped high into the air. It's a good catch in traffic by Estrada. No problem with that. We talked about what happens to Dallas if they win. They'll be 4 points behind second place. Fort Lauderdale began the day in 7th. They would drop to 8th. Being a three-way tie on points with Brooklyn and DC. We're ahead of them on goal differential. Here is Thornton, and Strawn puts in the rebound to put a cherry on top. Third league goal of the season for Sealy Strawn. Dallas lead by 4, and Nathan Thackeray is going to get his first win as the Dallas Trinity head coach in some style.
And this team just refuses to stop. Boss just passes this one off to Stainbrook. One touch to Thornton, and it has been the game of follow-up opportunities. Sealy Strawn there just continuing to follow the play. Crone doesn't see her there, tries to just push it aside, and Sealy Strawn just continues to be the aggressor and pokes that one in. And really, like you said, the cherry on top. Interestingly enough, the last time these two teams met was September 13th, and Fort Lauderdale beat Dallas 4-1. What a turn of events here.
Consider the script flipped.
Yep. I always mess up that saying and say it differently, so I didn't even want to try.
Well, it's going to be a resounding victory for Dallas, who continue to put pressure on the likes of Sporting Jacks and Lexington at the top of the table. And Fort Lauderdale, if they didn't have a wake-up call last week here against Lexington, consider this an alarm bell. They will need to get back off the mat. It's going to be a 6th game in a row without defeat for Dallas. Now we look at tonight's Fort Lauderdale Performer of the Game. It's brought to you by Baptist Health, committing to keeping our athletes and community at their best. The Fort Lauderdale standout was Shania Gordon.
The captain of the team. She just controls this back line. She's a converted outside back, but works tirelessly up and down the pitch. She's just involved everywhere. She creep into the midfield like you see her now, trying to just will her team to get any sort of momentum back into this match.
She'll be important going forward for Fort Lauderdale to try to turn this around. It's going to be a 7th match in a row on either side of the break without a victory for Fort Lauderdale. And again, the tough home form. That's what's most shocking, I think, about these tough times. Is continuing to hurt Fort Lauderdale in the standings. And we mentioned it, 14 goals conceded at home coming in. That's now ballooned up to 18 tonight with 4 more tacked on. And they continue to struggle to keep a clean sheet at home, obviously, as well.
On top of that, this will extend their losing streak to 3 matches. All of them have been at home. And the scores from those games were 3-1, 3-1, and now, if this score stands, 4-0. So they're really going to have to go back to the drawing board and maybe fix a few things about how they start matches, just trying to control the game a little bit more and not go out so hard at the beginning of games.
Ooh, Estrada could not handle the set piece on the first or the second attempt. It's touched out of the area on the far side. The re-entry is also deflected. Fort Lauderdale get another chance. Slithers to the edge of the area. Again, Dallas get the defensive touch. It falls for Smith. Smith lays it off. And Fort Lauderdale, through Harrell, are forced to reset it. Back to Vaca. And again, Dallas eventually closed the door. Talked earlier about how 50% of the goals Fort Lauderdale has scored have come from set pieces. That's the highest stat in that category in the league. Of course, the glass half empty side of that is maybe they're a little too over-reliant on set piece goals. Dallas have been able to slam that door shut tonight, and they really haven't created much else outside of set pieces, Fort Lauderdale. The one goal that was chalked out did stem from a set piece opportunity as they reset here with 3 added minutes put up on the clock at the end of the 90.
And credit to Dallas on those set pieces, because the opportunity that Fort Lauderdale has had, the set pieces have been in and around the 18-yard box. So prime chances for them. Dallas just doing a really good job of defending and then clearing the ball away far enough that it wasn't a threat to them anymore.
It was poked down the line. Fort Lauderdale have it back. There's a Dallas player down, though, after that pass was made. Looked like initially that it was Stainbrook who was, yes, it is Stainbrook, who was holding on to her left leg. It might just need a moment.
It's always the clear sign of a cramping situation there. But stretched her own self out. Credit to her, because those are no fun.
She got the Dallas party started in the 25th minute, scoring her first goal for the club. And the second half has been more joyous and delight for Dallas here on the road. About to pick up their 3rd road victory of the season. Next up for Dallas, we mentioned it earlier, is a trip to Lexington. Try to end that 16-match unbeaten run at the start of this Gainbridge Super League season. Doesn't get any easier for the Trinity. And then Fort Lauderdale, I mentioned this at halftime. They are still at home. On Valentine's Day, they will host Brooklyn. And what's going to really turn out to be quite a 6-pointer towards the bottom half of the Gainbridge Super League table. A game that both teams will desperately need 3 points from. Especially considering that some of the gaps from 3 to around 5 or 6 are starting to broaden a little bit as we dive fully into this second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. Games are going to start ticking by. The more chances you leave on the table to not pick up points, the percentage chances of you making the playoffs start to dwindle slowly but surely.
It seems a little bit early for that stage of separation, but there is quite a gap between the top and then that central part of the standings right now, and each game matters so much in this league.
Hamid drills that over the top, and that in some ways has kind of summed up Fort Lauderdale's night. That'll do it. Full time in Florida. A dazzling Dallas performance in the Gainbridge Super League. They win it by 4 goals to 0 to put pressure on Jacksonville and Lexington at the top of the table. It's a first win in charge for Nathan Thackeray, and it was done in quite some style.
Dazzling, decisive, all of the words for this Dallas Trinity team right now. They came out and never took their foot off the gas pedal, imposed their will, took care of possession of the ball, were relentless in their pursuit of winning the ball back defensively, and then just continued to add goal on goal on goal on goal in this match. And what a road win for Nathan Thackeray's first win as a head coach.
And a first win for Dallas over Fort Lauderdale since the start of the first season of Gainbridge Super League action. 4-0 is the final score here on Peacock. Dallas win it convincingly over Fort Lauderdale. We will wrap it all up next after the break.
United FC. Don't miss a single Fort Lauderdale United game. Whether at home or on the road, you can catch every United match this season on Local 10. Stick around, fans. Players will be signing autographs and taking photos on the pitch. Concessions are still open, so grab a bite and enjoy the moment with your Fort Lauderdale United stars. Fans, join your United family for our next home match next Saturday, February 14th, when your Fort Lauderdale United hosts Brooklyn FC at 7:30 p.m. For more information, log on to ftludd.com. Don't miss the NSU women's and men's basketball teams returning to action Wednesday, February 11th at 5:30 p.m. as they take on Lynn University. And don't miss FPL Takeover Night at the NSU basketball games on February 25th. United fans, the party doesn't stop at the final whistle. Head over to the Coquina Lounge and hang out with your fellow United fans after the game for our post-game party.
Welcome back, everybody, here on Peacock. Sean St. Jacques, Jade Barquette here with you. Dallas wins it by 4 goals to 0 over Fort Lauderdale United, and we are very excited to be joined by the winning head coach, Nathan Thackeray, from the Dallas Trinity on the field. Coach, congratulations. It's your first win in charge. What about the win impressed you the most about what you saw out there?
I appreciate that. You know what? I thought how we adjusted in the second half based on the information that was given back to them at half-time, I thought it was brilliant. I actually thought we should have scored a few more goals. Felt really dominant, looked really dangerous in transition moments, which is stuff that we worked on all week. We knew that coming into the week we couldn't implement too much because it's a lot of it new information, but if we could be really good at certain things, we'd have some success. I think the team are really relieved they've never got a point here, so to come away with all 3 and to score 4 goals and get rid of some of that goal differential deficit is also important. So really happy for the group.
Not only did you have 4 goals, there are 4 different goal scorers, 2 of them first-timers. How have you been able to instill confidence into this team to really bring out that creativity and put goals away?
we've done a lot of work going to goal. As I said when I took the job, my game model is deeply rooted in how we score goals. So how we can do it, certain ways that we can do it, consistent ways that we try to achieve goal scoring opportunities, is things that we've hammered out for the last 3 weeks that I've been involved. I think that's why you're seeing it. Good players finding good positions inside the box to score. I'm happy for the two that are Flinny with her first senior professional goal, and then obviously Seeley coming on at the end for what we call a back post tap in that we joke say it's worth 2. So my favourite type of goal.
You told us that you don't want this team to be built off excuses. You want to be built off of opportunities. In a season right now where you can make excuses, the weather, not being able to be with this team for a while, what is the opportunity that Dallas Trinity has here in this spring season?
That's up to them. It's how they prepare themselves. It's how they respond to information. It's how they deal with setbacks. The opportunities will be made for them. It's an excellent group that's constantly wanting to learn and get better. If they want to grow, then the opportunities for them are endless. And I said to them in the pre-game team talk that we talk about growing the team together. We have to treat it like a campfire. If you don't look after the campfire, eventually the fire burns out. So everybody has a responsibility to throw their part on the campfire, keep that fire burning. And I think we saw that for the 90 minutes today. So really happy for them.
Coach, thanks so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Best of luck moving forward, and congrats on the win.
Thank you, guys. All the best.
That is Coach Nathan Thackeray from Dallas. A very convincing 4-0 win over Fort Lauderdale. He mentioned it, first ever win at Fort Lauderdale for Dallas. Full-time highlights are brought to you by Blue Water Books and Charts. We start with the Stainbrook opener in the 25th.
And it really was the start of the onslaught of Dallas in this match. She just took one touch, didn't take a look up, and slotted this one in. And a beautiful assist from Cameron Lancaster in this match. And then this was the goal that really changed it for Fort Lauderdale. They thought they had momentum here with Kelly Van Tree coming up in cleaning up this opportunity to put it away, but it was eventually called offside. She took a lot of heat there on her body, but to no avail because the goal was called back. And then this opportunity right here for Dallas, and Matt Crone comes up huge.
That was the save of the game presented by Omega XL Sport. It felt like a big save at the time to keep the margin thin and give Fort Lauderdale a chance to maybe get back into it. And then Wenny Bellata pulled out her magic wand to make it 2-0.
She absolutely did. Hinson draws defenders, and Bellata finishes for Dallas in spectacular fashion, just weaving in and out of traffic. And then at the last second, just fires this one home. A decisive shot with the left foot right inside that left post.
You felt from that point on it was Dallas's game to lose. We jump ahead to the 71st minute. How about the Flynn header to make it 3?
He said Flinny, she's been known as low flow as well. This ball, just a decisive header from the center back, separates a little bit from her defender and hammered that one home, just adding the cherry on top for her team.
Bellata got the assist, by the way, on that goal. And then Seeley Strawn, this didn't count for 2, but coach said these are the kind of moments that are important. They might as well count for 2. Strawn wraps it up.
And why it's important is because it's a never give up on the play attitude. She was constantly following the ball, wanting to put it away, and she got the perfect opportunity when it fell right to her foot and not going to miss from point blank range.
Game, set, and match. Dallas Trinity, they win it by 4-0 beyond Bankert full-time match stats. Tell you there was a lot of chances, a lot of shots for both teams. Dallas did much more with their opportunities in the end than Fort Lauderdale did.
And like the first half, these full-time stats look pretty even for the most part. And if you're just looking at these, you wouldn't know that it was very much a Dallas-dominated game, and credit to them. They really just imposed their will from the beginning. Fort Lauderdale now going to have to go back to the drawing board and try to figure out how they put those shots on target for more quality chances.
It does seem to be a bit of a wake-up call for Fort Lauderdale United early on in this second half of the Gainbridge Super League season. Their home woes continue. Dallas head out of Florida with a very impressive 4-0 victory with 4 different goal scorers leading the way. For Jade Barquette and our entire crew, I'm Sean St. Jacques. We say so long from the Sunshine State. Dallas dazzle on their way to a 4-0 win in the Gainbridge Super League tonight on Peacock.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.